live stream won't post. So they found out a way to stop a live stream from posting when they kill the battery and stuff. It doesn't ever post that live stream. Okay. So, like I said, you folks are on computers so that you can't run over people with your cars because we had some of that going on. And we're just waiting for you to die, the whole planet. Yes. We can't do anything until you're gone. So, we're waiting for you to die so the rest of the planet can go on the rest of the Passover and be happy for the rest of the time. What you're doing has no other meaning, but that's what God has you doing until enough brain matter dies that you die. Okay? Great. So, anyways, um, I made up the whole conversations that people could have with Brian because to me they're funny. Um, like other drug addicts that are also psychopaths. If he starts a thing where you just go, "This is like boring, dude. This is like boring." None of that what you're saying is true. You're a psychopath, we're psychopaths, we hate good people. This is some chick that thinks she's better than everybody, like she is good, and everything that you're doing is just making her worse. She's never gonna, like, see that she's fake, and she actually now believes she is better than you and better than everybody. You're not going to fix her problem. Everything you do makes it perpetuates her goodness in her own head. That's what they would say because they're psychopaths. Can we just do drugs? I mean, you already raped this chick and you publicly humiliate her that everybody knows that you refused to have sex with her and you never liked her, and you just keep flipping out and then proving that she'll take you right back like she's retarded. In her head, she's not retarded, she's good. Like, dude, she thinks she's the Virgin Mary. You're not going to convince this person or she's going to get payback or anything. It's just probably fueling your rage at her even more. None of us like good people. Can we just smoke the crack now and move on? Like, we have other people to, like, con and victimize. Seriously. To me, that's funny. That's a conversation that could take place. I gotta go up the thing and get soda and water. But anyways, um, my walk route, I'm happy. I made it to December 1st. Clearly, any person complains about having to carry all that stuff around and sleep outside. Well, there's just people with tons of money and vacation homes and there's apartments they just refuse to give you and stuff. But no, because I'm not a psychopath and I'm not on drugs. I don't want to go running around and steal from Target and steal from CVS and rob people and just sleep with that one's girlfriend and pull this guy's penis and shoot up and smoke heroin and crack and drink and make up that your conversations have any matter and you're all having fun. Woo! None of those people are athletic. No drug addict is athletic. It's very rare for a drunk to be athletic. Yeah, just they're not getting any rush out of walking, jogging, swimming, kayaking. How are you going to kayak? You won't even carry a bag with blankets in it, but you're going to kayak? You don't even want to walk around Magic Kingdom. You get tired. But you see how fast he moves when he's running his game, as they call it. These things are so sad and pathetic. While they're running their game and they're getting their drugs and they will move like speed lightning all over the place. I saw it when he was panhandling for tobacco and marijuana. When he wants to get a drug or something, all of a sudden the guy has energy. They don't even get excited about sex. And brain, who cares? Who cares, brain? Oh, yeah, just say, "I get it. This dude is not a parent. I don't have to be told all this bunch of bullshit that it's not me and this guy can never love anybody." It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. That would only matter if you're still upset that the person doesn't love you. Then it matters. It's not a parent. And you can forget about caring about a parent caring about you too, you know. You absolutely can if you get enough psychotherapy. You just go, none of those excuses have to matter. I don't care if Phil got married and is mad in love and had 4 kids, and I don't care about that. Why would I care about some ex doing that? Yeah, which I guess every chick this guy's ever doinked, he still does that, you know. That's why he's mad that females he didn't even like that he passed off to another dude. He gets mad they're still together. He's mad that the ex had a boyfriend and stuff. You just go, how are you a non-attached but yet attached to every female you doinked? Psychopaths are, oh yeah. The point is that you're sick and you can't be cured because you can't care about anybody. But yet you're all sort of pitiful and think that everyone should care about you. And that's why you're psychopaths. Right. That's a terrible sickness to have where you can't care about anybody. But you want everybody to care about you because it's like mixed in with the depressive state too. People with depression are mean, you know, and they think that they're the greatest of all people, but the world doesn't understand them, and the world is mean, and the world made them like that. That's people that are depressed. They will tell you they hate themselves. They actually don't hate themselves. I understand depression point. It's a lot of constant negative thoughts in their head. And that's why they get sadistic if it goes on so long because they're paralyzed by all that negative thinking. So if they can start raging it out towards others like a psychopath, then they're happier with the sadistic insanity because all they do is lay in a bed in torment. They've got to be heavily medicated because it's a constant slew of negative thinking that won't stop in their heads. Yeah, not depressed people are nice. Yeah, depressed people are mean people. Mean, negative, nasty people. So yeah, I'm pretty psyched. I am pretty psyched. Obviously, I got to stand there for hours in a day to get in, and there's only so many people get in. But yeah, I am psyched. No more carrying all that crap around. And I can actually take walks because I'm not with that dude anymore. I'm not barreled down by all my stuff like they did to me when they took my bed away at that shelter. How was I ever going to take walks? They wouldn't even let me leave my stuff in a locker during the day to take a walk. We asked. That's how insane they are. Like monkeys, and you just sit there. Okay? Dude paralyzed me from taking my walks, and I explained it. And then I was going over some of my psychology too beyond that, where the other times he did this, like, why didn't I start walking? Because I think it's like when someone dies and you don't want to get up that day because you know you're moving on. It's like a weird thing that happens psychologically. That makes it real to move on because you know you're going to move on and let it go. It's all part of letting go of a thought idea that's not going to happen and it's not real. Like when someone dies, it's difficult to move on from that sometimes and let it go. In June, I did start walking and I was more sort of in a like panicked type of thing. And I'm not doing that now. This is just regular, my walk so I can think. And I know it's a process of moving on and getting completely over it. You can't go back from 6 weeks at a campground saying to me after I take you out of Spalding that you would have said anything because they told you you couldn't leave unless you were with me, and nobody else would take you in. Nobody. Nobody. He will try to tell you he gave up a CSS and stuff for you. Nobody will take him anymore because he's been in that program so many times and been in a halfway house so many times. Not he's giving it up for me. They won't take him. He got kicked out of Gavin in March, and that's why he came back to the shelter. He was trying to get into a TSS from there. That's why he was there so long. And I'm the person who was bringing him cigarettes. He will marry you, pledge his undying love to get cigarettes, and then when he thinks he's got you where he wants you, he admits things, and is very cruel. I just tell you what you want to hear. I would have said anything. And then go, I don't know why anybody would go out with me. Like, then it's your fault because you're dumb. Like, how many times would I have to indicate to you that I don't want to be with you? Okay, so just walk away from me now. Bye. Right. That's bunch of crap at the bench that you said to me. Just right. I walk right to where we sleep and you take off and then come and ask for the EBT card. It's the same fucking thing. Just stay away. Don't text me. I stayed at someone's house and I'm boring. Because now, get it? I don't hear anything from the dude till he doesn't have another place to stay. I'm really not that dumb. You're a psychopath. I'm not dumb. Not everyone fakes their feelings. I know how you things think. You think nobody is good, everybody acts, and that good people think they're better than everybody. I know how you think. I've encountered other psychopaths. You have a mental illness where you can't bond to people and you can't care about anybody. Some people are genuinely good and nice, and some people actually can love and love very deeply. And you'll never experience that because of your illness. Plus the fact you can't commune with the Almighty because God is love. I already told you, you can't rebirth because you can't bond to a mother. You're a different species and it's coming out all twisted up and stuff because you don't even have the basic binder, which is Christian. That's why you folks love whores and you hate women that are not whores. You hate actual mothers. Nothing exists in the kingdom of heaven in this bodily form but mothers like me and males like me. I explained it. If you hate me, just know you're not going to rebirth in this bodily form. You'd be in a misery. And we'd be in nature where I don't have to tolerate it. I don't have to tolerate it. Almighty God would never do that to a bunch of human beings. Could you imagine a bunch of human women and here comes a whore? What do you think's going to happen to that whore? There's no stuff like, there's no cops coming to arrest you. No. Oh yeah, and just just pull it like a knife that sharp, pull it tight and cut it right off. I'm not going to do it. I'm not threatening to do it. I plan to never be around the dude. But you just go, that's natural. That's natural in nature. When a dude rapes you like that, admits it, and he won't stop having contact with you to further abuse you, you're married. Bloop. You don't need that. You don't even use it. What do you need it for? You don't need that. You don't need that to go screw other people and then torment me with it. Anyways, This was another thing I came up with if I ever court again. Okay, just be prepared because people do actually listen to me, as you know. They think about it and then they test it out to see if they like that idea. Okay, so you're a dude, say we're in Hard Eyes Killer, and you're a dude who you're saying that you have a genuine interest in me. Okay. So I say, obviously, you already know about the proper courting. Okay. So before the wedding, I need for you to get a vasectomy. What do you say to that? Like, honestly, what do you say to that? Because then if you think that's crazy, then you don't want to marry me. It's a pretty simple procedure. I didn't think of this when I married dude. Okay, but that probably should have been a criteria too. We're getting, or I'm taking you out of Spalding. Okay, well, you're having a POA and a vasectomy. Yeah, but now it's you want to marry me? Okay, well, I need you to have a vasectomy because you're marrying a 54-year-old woman with a tubal ligation in menopause. So you're not going to have any children. Never in my life, not even a boyfriend, has ever done that to me, and I will not have that done to me. It's something that I mentally cannot tolerate. So if just know that I'm not going to marry you unless you have a vasectomy. Even men in their 40s and 50s can father children. Did you see what happened to Demi Moore with Bruce Willis? Because he didn't know he was going to get sick like that. I don't believe he ever intended to have more children, and I stated it at the time I knew he was sick. It didn't make any sense. So unfortunately, he didn't think to get a vasectomy because she must have had a tubal or something, or they were divorced and they knew that they weren't going to have any more children. He followed her around like a puppy dog after the divorce. It's clear he wasn't going to have any more children. So, right, you're going to have a vasectomy because you're not having any children. It's not you hang around with Mary and then you decide to have an affair when you're mad at me and you get someone pregnant. Or you leave me and then decide you're going to have children later on. Still seem crazy? Because I don't want that in my life. You should understand the things that people do, and you never know what you're going to do or what's going to happen to you. You don't know if you're going to get brain sick like Bruce Willis and do something stupid. It's one thing to do something stupid, but to do something stupid and now you have a kid and that that person is going to be all over TV like that chick was, and the one that went with Brian Austin Green, who also should have had a vasectomy. People are getting brain sick, and then you have disgusting whores jumping on top of their penis and having children with them. So you're going to get a vasectomy? Right. I'm saving you the trouble, like we're having a conversation about our beliefs. Okay. It's not you say yes to something and then you court me for 6 months and ask me to marry you, and I go, "Where's the vasectomy?" I absolutely wouldn't marry you. I've learned a lot from this last dude. I absolutely wouldn't marry you. Even after 6 months, it's not a soap opera where you trick me into marrying you. It would suck once again, but you wouldn't have sex with me. You wouldn't have the opportunity to rape me and then keep abusing me like this dude did, who was never going to take off and not come back that night. That is what he told me before the wedding. He also did not explain to me about the drug use he does, did and does. He didn't explain that and all this weird stuff with meeting dudes at bathhouses for sex. None of that was explained to me. I was never told a dude masturbates in a public bathroom. I was never told that, and that he was watching pornography on his phone. He never told me that. I don't watch pornography. I'm completely against pornography, and I think that dude knows that. Those are deal breakers, married or not. You refuse to put out. I gave him this speech at the campground before I went into the shelter. Oh yeah, I made a mistake too. Remember I said December of last year? It couldn't have been December. It must have been January or February. Because last December he was in Gavin Foundation from December 23rd until March. I'm sorry, until probably like the middle of January. Left there, came to the shelter, took off again, went to Danvers for a week, and then showed up at the shelter on March 5th. So it had to be either like the end of January or the middle of February. Okay. Right. I think there was like 1, 2, or 3 hotel stays we did. So the last time we had any type of sexual contact other than him getting a hand job at a campground and then refusing to do anything in return, that was the end of it for me. Right. He clearly has sexual dysfunction that's pretty severe. That was at the Harbor View over on the off the blue line. Yeah, that was whatever that was. I think it was January or February. That was the last time we were sexually intimate. Right? It couldn't have been December. So, anyways, it is now the end of November. So that was the first time. I mean, we camped 6 weeks alone in a tent. But anyways, after the camping in June at Harold Parker, that was June, right? It had to be because I went in the shelter. Okay. That is when I said that I give you a hand job only because I initiate it. And then you refuse to do anything. And then you're actually mean to me and abusive. I go, this is insane, dude. No one stays with the person for 10 months that refuses to have sex. No one does that. Just the text message alone, I don't know if he was watching a live stream or he just has it in his head because he's so sick he won't keep bringing it up because he knows he raped me and he's sadistically insane. How can I rape you when we never have sex? Bingo. That's why it's rape. That's why it's rape. You admitted to raping me. That's why it's rape. Nothing else makes sense in the world, dude, but that it's rape. Because you're sadistically insane. Just like the text messages from the shelter. We barely did it anyway. That's admitting rape too, but you're admitting that you refuse to have sex, okay? And then I told you August 9th of 2024, you raped me. And then you absolutely withhold any affection at all. You repeatedly take off to go partying and using, and you're extremely verbally abusive. There's not a reason to speak again. I clearly still haven't even got your stuff out of the storage, but I have to. Why would I store your stuff in a storage? We're never going to be speaking to each other again. Right. You haven't contacted saying, I got another place to put my stuff. Can you please not throw it away? Because you never cared about your belongings. All you care about is your bag of medications, maybe your phone and your eyeglasses. That's it. It doesn't really matter. I said he'll never go to jail for it. Okay. Other psychopaths don't care. I just explained it. He'll get an award for doing it because I had so much celibacy. Right. I'm not a whore and I think I'm better than everybody. because a lot of those people are worn out to the ground. You get what I'm saying? I know their lifestyle. Obviously, these people can become dangerous to society, so they're being placated with all these drugs, and then a lot of them do get money. You might think, you go, they don't have money. They spend it all on drugs. They go into these things. You have any idea how much it costs to maintain that type of a drug habit? We're talking about booze. Then they still think they're supposed to go to the movies and go out to restaurants and stuff and have electronics. Oh yeah, this dude thought he should have an electronic scooter, smartwatches, telephones, headphones, everything. They're deranged. That's why they just steal it. Heroin, crack cocaine, booze, pot. Buy pot 3 or 4 times a week. Tobacco, cigarettes. Oh yeah, the movies. I would say restaurants like pizza and stuff constantly. These people aren't going to sit down restaurants. Look at what they look like and how they talk and act. But they'd stay in housing if they didn't have to pay rent. And then pile people in there, just like that chick did in her house, and then they took her house away from her. You can't be doing that shit in neighborhoods with houses and families and children, but remember that guy from Winter Street that's he was given a room by Father Bills. I'm sure he doesn't pay anything. And then he said he still sleeps outside from time to time because he feels like it. That's a fucking nut job. Go to a campground. Right. Go to a, what do you mean you still sleep outside from time to time when you have a room on Winter Street? That's a complete fucking nut job. That's the one that tried to lure me to his fucking place to get raped. And that gives Brian a place to sleep for the night. They were told in 2020 to stay home and stay safe. So they're not safe. And good luck. Just good luck with yourselves. Good, you're so out of it. It's amaze balls. Good luck with yourselves. If you refuse to stay in your housing and you're doing that shit, you're literally trying to rape me. And you occasionally just sleep out under a tree at Wollaston train station, even after giving a room and being told to stay in it. Go ahead, call the police, I guess. I don't know. I don't even want to say. I don't know who you think is beating the fuck out of you and snapping your leg, but go ahead, call the police. You're that fucking insane. And no, people aren't taking those fucking ski masks off. Catch my drift? No. I don't know why a judge didn't slap a fucking ankle bracelet on you and go, don't leave Winter Street. Have somebody else bring you booze. Order it in. There was a dude that had a concubine called a personal assistant. He hired a personal assistant to bring him pot and booze. I don't know if he had an ankle bracelet or was in a wheelchair finally or was tired of getting beaten up. That's what Father Bills does, and I'm sure there's other ones. I don't know if that's Champ. I know you hear about this, and then you wonder why people don't hit conjugate housing on Champ. Are you kidding me? Is that different? You're not having actively using drunks and drug addicts there, right? You're not letting sex offenders live there. Never in a day again. Never in a day. And I'm sorry if you're a drug addict and you're a friend of mine, then you should know, right? You didn't cross a boundary with me because you have a brain in your head. You're not that far gone. Yeah, I mean, one of them that's done pretending would say that to Brian, like, look, I'm not a Christian drug addict, dude. We're psychopaths. I mean, you clearly don't care anything about you're just mad that you still can't make this woman commit suicide or something. Just move on from her. You're making her more what you hate. Yeah, and then more and more people lift her up, and then you're back to a scumbag. Yeah, like, really? You're not really like, yeah, just dude. Because some of them are, like, Christian drug addicts, and they don't wanna face the fact that they're psychopaths. They might actually believe that stuff, like how they're making up that somebody else is bad, the shit they do. Most of them will go, "Yeah, I'm terrible." I don't think they actually believe they're terrible, but they will say that. "I'm terrible. I sold all my mother's apartment for crack." I don't think they actually think they're terrible, because if they did, they stop using. That's what I was saying about maybe opium, and then you go, "Oh my god, what have I done?" And you stop using it. That's the horrors of going. I mean, that dude pretended that at Mass General. He even throws in he had an epiphany that he realized he wasted all those years on Raggedy. And Mary, didn't you waste years on Mary too, Brian? Come on, give it a rest. You would have never met another person while you were still hanging around with me. You didn't think that? Oh, yeah. I'm sure you didn't just mean Raggedy. What's her name? Alicia? I'm sure you didn't just mean Alicia. But clearly, yeah, that's 24 years of your life you wasted. And then you just wasted another 2 years, not exactly, but on Mary. Move on. But yeah, the speeches that these people come up with, you just know they don't mean any of it. They don't mean any of it. I don't even believe they mean it at the time. They're manipulating you. Right. I would have said anything. He said anything to get himself out of Spalding. He had to lure me there every day to take him outside to smoke, and then he would dismiss me. Oh, yeah. If he had a nurse to take him outside to smoke, he wouldn't even want me coming there any day to visit him. That disgusting. I would have told you anything. I just tell you what you want to hear. Oh, that's right. What time is it? I know if I don't go up there, I don't have a choice, because what the heck am I going to drink? It's right up the street. It's winter time, so it's like as soon as it's 3 o'clock, and it wasn't sunny at all. As soon as it's 3 o'clock, you don't feel like doing anything. I remember when I used to visit up here from Florida, and I think that some people in the family would go, I don't understand what this is. You don't do anything. That's because I'm not used to this. I'm not used to this weather. I was living in the Sunshine State, and you come up here and go, "Oh my god, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it's getting dark and it's cold." Yeah, you don't feel like doing anything but curling up in a chair. I'm used to going out in a pool in a bikini and sunbathing and stuff. Yeah, this is I don't live here by choice, you know. I'm a hostage in the Massachusetts. I don't live here by choice. Why do you think there's so many homeless people in Los Angeles? Yeah, just I'm sure the people in New York are hostages too. I can't see anybody choosing to stay in New York or Boston. I'd say that unless they're not like Brian, like I said, if they're not just psychopathically deranged druggies, they're hostages because they're on DTA cash or nothing, and no one will give them housing either. Yeah, you just there are nicer places to live. Come on, champ. So anyway, I was talking about how I saw a cruise that I actually could just pay for. Bloop. And it's a transatlantic. Bloop. But I got to be at the internet for the Social Security hearing. Yeah, that's the other thing too, is I got to think about. I think this is what I'm going to do. I think this is what I was thinking. It doesn't mean it's rock solid decision. Is if I go camping, it opens on May 1st, I'm pretty sure. It's the first week of May. It might be the 7th. And I camp from that day and do like 2 weeks past Memorial Day. Because once Memorial Day, it's a 2 week limit. I might just sleep outside until later on when it's like Labor Day, and I can do the same thing. Or I can go 2 weeks before Labor Day and then the rest of the season till the middle of October. Then I'm not, I can come up with the money, especially since I'm by myself now. I was camping on two people's DTA income. I might have a decision about Social Security by then, which would be nice. Yeah, now I definitely need it because I'm only on $400 a month now. Yeah. So, anyways, um, this is why they separated us when they combined all our stuff because they lowered my SNAP food. They put it all on my card, which probably was appropriate, but they lowered the amount and then they actually cut my income in half. And this dude would just take off with his income. That's not a shared income. Yeah. We clearly are separated. Right. Just the DTA office isn't fucking stupid either. This is the longest period of time. And you saw what happened. That's not a married couple, by the way. We're not even having sexual relations. Right. This is an insane drug addict. So, anyways, um, that would probably work because it's not as bad. I'd rather spend the summer at a campground. That was my plan. That was my plan. I had a whole plan to keep a person stabilized. Just like a halfway house had a whole plan, and the other specialized housing had a whole plan to keep this person stabilized. I'm not Father Bills, or I purposely leave that in a chair waiting for it to flip out and take off because you're deranged and you actually think that might be a real husband for me. Okay? Because you're gross and deranged, those people. Um, the man would have been he was kept stabilized, and then he decided he doesn't want that. That's the anger. The handwriting's on the wall where if he makes it to Thursday morning, he is quote unquote stuck. That's considered stuck. Not sleeping on the ground through Thanksgiving. That's stuck somewhere for a week and a half. And then you go right to a warming center. It makes it more difficult to concoct you taking off, but he managed to do it in April. There's people smoking crack cocaine in the line for the warming center, in case people didn't know that. Oh, so you're going to smoke a cigarette? Okay. I'm not even talking about that, but I'm talking about the night that two druggy friends of his came into the warming center, and he had never done this the whole time we were there. Every night, never did this. All of a sudden, from the mat, he's got to go outside and smoke. Of course I said something, and of course he said I was fucking crazy and paranoid. No, Done. Never associating with the fucking person like that again. Nope. You're a fucking druggie and you're a lying fucking druggie. Oh, yeah, I do the same thing every night and never go outside to smoke a cigarette. But now 2 of my druggie friends are here. And didn't they go out to smoke too? Now I'm going to go out and smoke a cigarette. Fuck you. Fuck you. That's why it's good to have a therapist. I don't have paranoid thinking. Hi. Thank you. Yeah, she's not here. Okay. Thank you, Nancy. Whoops. I don't know what he heard, but he started practicing. Oh, okay. Maybe it's time for bed or something. There he goes. Yeah, probably. All right. I'll see you later. He probably heard me talking. The dog. I started talking kind of loud. She talks to her TV in there too. I don't think she says the F word though. But I've heard her getting like angry at whatever she's watching on the TV. That's normal to me. Candy and I were just talking about it. So yeah, like some people you kind of hope that they would start video blogging. Yeah. It's just some people don't know that they're way too demanding of other people. Yeah, some people don't know that. Like, and it depends. You could find friends that want to just sit and talk and talk and talk for hours every single day. I can't think of a friend I would do that with. Right. It this came up in the walk. If I married someone because to me in a marriage that's what it is. Like but obviously I didn't pick the right person. You would have someone that you think is hot like that and you're sexually attracted to, and then you're friends. You have all kinds of things in common. You like each other, you have banter, you have fun together. Right. That's obviously you're both married to it, right? You what are they obligated yourself that you're gonna be listening to that person talk. You can set up in a marriage, and I actually suggested this to Brian if we got housing that he'd have a chair he sat in when he wanted me to shut the fuck up. And of course, in a true psychopath, he goes, "Oh no, I would never tell you that. Please, dude, please." Right? Like you might have a room that's your art room. When I sit over here, I'm going to read my books. When I take my walk or whatever, that I'm going to watch my show. Like you have a set up time where you're going to shut the fuck up now because we're always talking to each other. You're going to video blog now, so I don't have to listen to all of that. Okay. Yeah, that is normal. If you get offended at somebody saying that, you need to calm down. It's if they never wanna listen to you talk, that's why it's good to establish those things before you're married. That's just rational. Yeah, it's some people don't understand that. Like, you're not actually having a conversation either, and, like, every aspect of your life can't be interesting to a person. Only God does that. Even your own spouse might have a limit. When you're say if you're a psychotherapist, if you're an actual psychotherapist, not you have a degree in social work, you got to talk into this thing in with your other colleagues once you've processed it all. I'm gonna have to shut it off because my sister's back. Um, yeah, I can't see a spouse unless you married another psychiatrist who likes psychoanalysis. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? Yeah, that would be interesting. Just and so, what are you thinking? Oh yeah, if I ever say, "What do you think to that dude?" He doesn't think anything. He has no interest in anything. The videos speak for themselves over 15 years, folks. You go, dude. If you couldn't find anything to talk to that chick about, just stay away from her because everything you want to talk about is retarded and fucking gross. Clearly, Just it's seemingly any topic she can conversate about. So that's definitely you. You've got something in your head you need to just associate with complete retarded drug addicts.